Hello everyone, welcome back to GeekDisorder's web series over HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and jQuery. This is Lavik. I'll be walking you through this series. Today in this video we're going to be going over how to work with fonts, how to change your fonts, the generic fonts, and how to specify a list of fonts to use. Alright, so there are 5 generic fonts. We have serif, sans serif, monoscript, cursive, and fantasy. Those are the generic font types. And you can put these in, like right here in front of me I have an HTML5 document. I left the paragraph we used in the last video, and I had the body, I had the font size set to 3em. Okay, I can actually put these generic fonts in here if I want to specify just one of them to use. Most people using personal web pages seem to forget sometimes to set the font, and so it uses the browser's default or a user's default, whichever they happen to have. But most of the time businesses, they set the font of their web pages. They want to use a different font. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. I can put the generic name, like I could put cursive right here. So to do this, I put font, and then dash family, colon, and then I want to name my font. And if I use cursive, there we go. I push save and launch in Firefox, and that's kind of a cursive, I guess. But that is the default cursive for Firefox. So you can see that's kind of a cursive. I can get more specific. I could look up a cursive font. The only one that I've noticed that doesn't change anything is fantasy. If I put fantasy here and I save and run, it will not change my font. I guess there's no like default for it to go to. You have to be more specific with which fantasy font you want to use. But I could use like monospace. Oops, monospace, and launch this, and you can see monospace is all the characters are the same width. So that's what you get. Alright, now I can be more specific, like let's see, I could use Times New Roman, and when I've used all one word fonts so far. When you're using a font like Times New Roman that has it's 3 separate words with a space in between, you have to put this in quotes. So I'll put Times New Roman and then save and run in Firefox. Okay. Alright, there's Times New Roman, and lots of these are pretty generic fonts you see all the time. So let's see, we can get, let's do, how about, there we go, and launch that. Alright, I'll do one more here. See if we can find kind of a different looking one. How about, there we go, and okay. Alright, and that's another monospace type font. And there is you can actually do a list of fonts. So if for some reason the user doesn't have a font, and so what's the web browser to do? If you don't list another font, it's going to use its default font. So I can list, like, say I want to use Times New Roman. Okay, and if it doesn't have that font, I can specify another one. If it doesn't have that one, for some reason I want to use let's see, that one. If it doesn't have that one, for some reason I want to switch back up and what's the other good one? I want to go back to cursive. Okay, so you can list fonts here. So if it doesn't have the first one, it's going to use the second one. If it doesn't have the second one, it's going to fall back to the next one, and so on. The further you get down the list, the more generic you'll want to be. Okay, so the last one you'll probably most likely want to use one of the 5 generics, or 4 since fantasy really doesn't have a default. That way, if for some reason they don't have all these other fonts, they're at least going to have one of those 4 to 5 generic family fonts, and so you at least know what they're going to end up with at the very least. Okay, and font families, when you set a font, like I set the font in the body, it is inherited just like the font size. So whatever I set for the body is going to be used in every other element inside the body unless I specify another font for like that element, a class that element has, or something along that lines. Okay, well, this has been Live It with Geek Disorder. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see y'all next time.